There are 31 bills that are making their way through various states aimed at banning these gender transition procedures for minors, because this is life-altering. It changes life for them, and it's not like you can reverse it. There's an addition to that, there's 49 different bills related to women's sports. There are 2 privacy protection bills. There are about 7 other counseling protection bills, because, this is the other thing. The left wants to lock people into this, these young people, lock them into this path of depression, destruction, and not let them out. Misery loves company. And so they don't want these young people to have counseling. And so we've got states pushing back on that. So in all, there's almost 100 bills moving forward, pushing back against this Biden agenda on transgenderism. So, folks, encouraging news. And this is where you can make a difference by weighing in with your state legislature. This is the beauty of our system of government, our federalist system. Yes, we've got one federal government, but we have 50 state governments that have power and authority over their realm of jurisdiction. And so we can push back. When the federal government gets out of bounds, as it is right now, it is, without question, the way we push back is at the state level. So we've got resources for you on this, and especially you live in Arkansas, you want to weigh in. In fact, I would encourage you to weigh in right now on the SAFE Act in the state of Arkansas. Just call, if you live in Arkansas, it's called the SAFE Act, and the author of it, as I mentioned, is Robin Lundstrom. Now, there's a good chance this is going to pass, but we're not sure what the governor is going to do. I should have asked him when I had him on the line. But you need to weigh in with the governor, make sure he signs this bill, simply protecting minors from these hormone treatments and surgical procedures that are irreversible in many cases. So I want to encourage you to contact your state representatives and weigh in with them on these transgender bills. We've got some resources available for you at frc.org. Also, you just go to tonyperkins.com and you can follow the links over on that. Back on the coronavirus. And let me do this. I've got on the line Quena Gonzalez. He is our state and local director at FRC, and I want to pull him in here. And before I leave this topic of these 89 plus bills that are making their way through at the state level, I want to pull him in. Quena, welcome to Washington Watch.
Thanks, Tony. It's great to be with you.
As you know, we were going to have Representative Lundstrom on, and she's tied up in debate on the floor there in Arkansas. But do you have the bill number for the SAFE Act there in Arkansas?
Yes, Tony. The SAFE Act in Arkansas is House Bill 1570.
All right, so it's 1570, just the SAFE Act. Good enough. Call your state representative there in Arkansas and encourage them to support this bill. What is the status right now?
Tony, the SAFE Act is before the it's before the House Public Health Committee, and actually Representative Robin Lundstrom, who is the primary author of the bill, is presenting the bill as we speak to the committee. And there are very good questions. We have 2 pediatricians testifying on behalf of the bill. We have our own Joseph Backholm just finished testifying for the bill, and a fellow brother in Christ, Billy Burley, came from California to describe what it was like for him to attempt when he was young to transition from male to female, and testifying on behalf of this bill to protect children in Arkansas from being transitioned or subjected to gender transition procedures, whether chemical or surgical, prior to the age of majority.
Now, Quena, we have other states that are entertaining similar pieces of legislation. You want to give us the highlights on those?
Yeah, Tony, this really blew up a few years ago. Our listeners probably recall the case of James Younger, a 7-year-old boy in Texas whose father was trying to protect him from being transitioned from male to female. His mother gave little James a female name and was pressuring his father to in a custody battle to allow James to transition. What James's father was observing is that James was a happy little 7-year-old boy who was trying to navigate a very difficult family situation. And Tony, this is so often what happens. Children are being asked to make decisions often under very difficult situations that they cannot fully comprehend. And so state legislators all over the country took notice of this. The following year, a handful of bills were filed trying to address this issue from various perspectives. Last year, 19 states introduced bills, again, trying to address this. This year, 18 states so far have introduced bills addressing this problem. And the SAFE Act is a very reasonable, measured response. It simply says, look, a child is too young before the age of majority to make lifelong decisions with lifelong implications, really committing themselves to a life of medical dependency on hormone treatments and surgery. And so this bill seeks to protect children between 85 and 97% of children who experience some form of gender incongruence. That means as they grow up, they begin to feel it's a little boy who feels like maybe he's a girl, or a girl who feels like maybe she's a boy. If they're left alone, the vast majority of them outgrow it by the time they hit their late teenage years.
Right. Are there resources available for folks who want to know more about this?
Yes, absolutely, Tony. We have a host of resources on the FRC website. We have our staff have looked at the research behind this, the medical research, the sociological research. We have resources at frc.org. If you look under human sexuality. And of course, it's important for people not to just resource themselves, but to make their voices heard.
Yeah, that's
and
critical.
So I would encourage, absolutely. And so I'd encourage people to sign up at frcaction.org for our alerts. When a bill like this is coming in your state, we'll let you know.
All right, Ken, I got to leave it there. We're out of time. Folks, do that. Go to you can go to tonyperkins.com or frc.org. There's a detailed version of the bill at tonyperkins.com.